Hugo Ekitike, injured latest as Arnslot, gives update on Liverpool striker. Wirtz Alisson. Liverpool striker, Hugo Ekitike, is a doubt for the weekend's trip to West Ham United. Arnslot has confirmed, but the Frenchman is not expected to be out for too long. Alisson Becker has trained today. Meanwhile, Wirtz could return to the group on Saturday. The Brazilian was ill and missed the PSV game in the Champions League, while Wirtz returned from international duty with Germany with a muscle issue. Ekitike was brought back into the starting sheet for the visit of the Eredivisie leader, but was only able to play just over an hour before he limped off with a back issue. The Frenchman was replaced by Alexander Isak, who once again struggled to make an impact. On Wednesday, Slot told TNT Sports, especially at the start of the second half, "I constantly felt, what's wrong with Hugo? It felt as if he couldn't move as he did in the first half. So, that's why our press was, I think, also a little bit off. And he just told me that in the first 5 to 10 minutes of the first half, he already felt his back too much. That's also why he had to go out." Against PSV, Liverpool did okay in the first half but then fell apart in the second. From front to back, the team was far too easy to play through with the Dutch side running riot. Mainly the second goal, I think. Slot said when asked about what changed after halftime. Although in the start of the second half, before they scored the goal, we already struggled more than in the first half. We had more problems, or we had more difficulty, in being as aggressive in the press as we were in the first half. That had a bit to do with Hugo Ekitike, who straight after halftime felt his back a little bit. And that's why his press wasn't as aggressive as the first 45 minutes. I know, because I follow the Dutch league. If you are not aggressive enough against PSV, then they have players who can outplay you, because they are a very good team, with very good football players on the ball. That's what we saw in the second goal they scored. But, again, after they scored the second goal, I think we had our chances to equalize. But not for the first time this season. We didn't take the chances we had. After playing West Ham, Liverpool will face Sunderland and Leeds United in the Premier League. On Joe Gomez. Slot added, "He is close. He could have been involved yesterday for minutes, but when we are 2 or 3-1 down, I tend to make offensive subs. For him to start is definitely a possibility. Konate didn't train 2 days before. He was a liability before the game, so it was a risk. I decided to keep him there in case IBU was injured." Arnslot opens up on talks with Richard Hughes and addresses if players have let him down. Arnslot says the talks he has had with sporting director Richard Hughes have not changed at the start of this season. "Despite Liverpool's dire run of form, we've had the same conversations we had since I'm here," Slot said. "We fight on and we try to improve. That is what we all try. The conversations are the same as they have been in the last 1.5 years. Our standards are not what we are used to. We think we can play better than we do. Last season, there was focus on individuals, but the team is what makes us good. Now the opposite is happening. We should also look at the team. It's normal if you win, lose, or draw, that you reflect on things. Maybe more when you lose, you try to find the answers. In the end, it is about doing what this club is about. Keep fighting, together. It would also be nice if we reward ourselves in the moments we play well. There are definitely large parts of the games where we do play well, but we forget to reward ourselves. There is a lot of pressure if you play at a top club, especially if you are losing more games than this club is used to." After losing 4-1 at home to PSV in the Champions League, Liverpool has now lost 9 of its last 12 games in all competitions. It has West Ham United at the weekend and then Sunderland and Leeds next week. "The emotions are very negative and disappointing," Slot said on TNT Sports after watching his team's latest disappointing collapse. "The way we conceded the 1-0 inches. I want to be positive about the reaction of the players when we went 1-0 down. We came back into the game and had chances to go to 2-1 up. I don't think anyone thought we would lose 4-1. In his post-match press conference at Anfield, he added, "I think it is a shock for everyone. For the players, for the journalists in here, for me, for everyone. This is a shock, and it's very, very, very unexpected. If you look at the quality we have, is it a lack of confidence? I didn't see that in the first half. Of course it is hard if after losing 3-0, straight into this game you concede a goal. I saw the mentality these players have shown so many times since I am here. We came back in a way you would like to come back, created chances, we kept them in their half, and after another setback by conceding the 2-1, I also saw us creating chances again to score the 2-2. But, in the end of the game, I did see. It affected maybe 1 or 2 players that we were 3-1 and 4-1 down. That's true." 3 Liverpool players called out by Jamie Carragher after untenable point. Jamie Carragher has suggested that Arne Slot's tenure as Liverpool manager is nearing a critical point. But he squarely places the blame for their dismal form on the players. Liverpool's recent record stands at 9 defeats in their last 12 matches, including 3 consecutive losses by 3 goals, the latest being a thrashing by PSV Eindhoven on Wednesday. The pressure on Slot has intensified following a 3-0 defeat to Nottingham Forest and a 4-1 loss at Anfield against PSV in the Champions League. Asterisk in a passionate post-match tirade. Carragher called on Liverpool's players to step up, pointing out that Alisson Becker, Virgil van Dijk and Mohamed Salah, the club's recent heroes, are not performing at their usual level. Asterisk Liverpool is not a sacking club, Carragher said on CBS. Liverpool are different from almost every club in European football, where the manager is the king. They get time. Liverpool have never sacked a manager who won the league. Never, in their history. After a few years, they've gone and resigned. I couldn't believe at the weekend that people were talking about the manager's job. When I spoke to Liverpool supporters after losing at home to Nottingham Forest, it's only going to amplify now. I've always been in the camp of stick with the manager. I'm really angry with the players, if I'm being honest, but it does get to a stage, with any manager, at any club, where I always use this word untenable, where it can't go on any longer. Asterisk, I'm not quite there yet. Personally, in terms of the manager, but I know a lot of supporters will be. I've had a lot of time to think about it, because I knew the game was over well before the final whistle. I think what you're seeing now, Liverpool in 2018 under Jurgen Klopp starts this journey of being a great time, and then Slot comes in. Now we're 7 or 8 years later. The catalyst for Liverpool at the start of that run was Alisson, Van Dijk, and Salah. Alisson is injured a lot now, so he doesn't play so much. But you're watching Van Dijk now, not the same player. And Salah looks like his legs have gone. I don't like criticizing them, and I think some of the criticism of them this season as players has been harsh. You always look for your leaders to step up when it's not going well. I've been critical of Salah off the pitch. I wanted him to come out and do an interview tonight and speak to the Liverpool supporters about what the players are going to do. What is going on in the dressing room to give the supporters hope they'll improve. But I don't like criticizing them on the pitch because they're absolute legends for what they've done. And their legs have just gone, especially with Salah. Van Dijk now can't help other players. He needs help himself. And that just means he's a normal center back, like I was at one stage. And maybe he's not superhuman right now. Asterisk, but they've been that good for the football club that I look at some of the others. Step up. Can you only play well when they play well? Or when they carry you? Their seasons last season were off the scale, and everyone else enjoyed that. Winning the league, they're all league champions, and they've got that on their CV, and great. But when they're not there, where are the others? So that's why I get angry talking about the manager. But it's inevitable, and something could happen. But in terms of the players and the way they're performing now, that's not acceptable for Liverpool Football Club. And I actually think, and I thought a little bit last season, are some of them good enough if Liverpool want to win the biggest trophies. We saw them at Newcastle in the Carabao Cup against PSG away from home last season, woeful performances. And they've been carried by some of the greatest players the club have ever had. This is maybe a snapshot of the future of Liverpool. When Salah moves on, Virgil van Dijk moves on, and Alisson moves on.